welcome to a new edition of Cross Cultures, promoting mutual respect, restoring common ground. As a magazine since 1991, and now as a radio show on FM 98.5 CKWR. The music you are hearing is from the album A Different Drum, called KW Shuffle, by Dawood Hornsby Ali and the Fletcher Valve Drummers. And I am your host, Jihan. Before I welcome my three guests today, it is with a very heavy heart that I bid farewell to one of the Ahmadiyya community's most revered elders, who lost Mr. Saeed Anwar on September 29th, 2020, at the age of 73, after a brave fight with liver cancer. I personally had the great privilege of knowing him over the years. He was an honored guest speaker and panelist in many of my own Cross Cultures magazine's events. Mr. Saeed Anwar was resident of Cambridge for over 30 years, an active member of Bai'tul Kareem Mosque and the Ahmadiyya Muslim community of Waterloo region. Mr. Saeed Anwar had an amazing social personality, very gentle and extremely courteous and respectful to all people, regardless of ethnicity or background. He was everyone's friend. He helped countless individuals and families to settle in the Waterloo region, helping them with employment and education and other needs. He was a social worker by profession, but helped everyone in any way possible, sacrificing his own time and energy. He will be remembered far and wide by all members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, as well as by the hundreds of attendees of the World Religions Conference, whom he communicated with on a regular basis. He is most known in the community for his active involvement in the uplifting of interfaith activities and the organization of the famous World Religions Conference in the Waterloo region. He served as the public relations manager for the conference for over 20 years and reached out to countless faith groups, inviting them to participate in furthering the interfaith concept the conference presented. It is traditional to recite Al-Fatiha upon his soul. May God grant him paradise in the next life. Sincere condolences to his family, wife, son and daughter, and may God give them the wisdom and strength to bear their loss. Waterloo region should be lucky to get many more people like him. With me on the show today are three gentlemen from the Ahmadiyya community. Mr. Nabeel Rana, a community leader and tireless organizer of the Waterloo region's World Religions Conference, which is held every year at the University of Waterloo for almost 4 decades. I'm also happy to welcome Dr. Ahmad Imran, Communications Secretary for Cambridge, who is also joining us to give a perspective of the community, and introducing Imam Fatir Mahmood Ahmad, who was born in the UK, but after 5 years his family moved to Canada and he grew up in Vancouver, BC, where he completed his early education. He actively took part in religious competitions throughout his youth and is a recipient of many awards. He studied comparative religions, spirituality and Islamic jurisprudence. His particular areas of interest are social youth issues with reference to challenges of mental health, drug abuse and homelessness, and has recently graduated from Jama Ahmadiyya, an Islamic university in Canada, after completing a 7-year rigorous program of study. Following that, he received missionary training in Africa, the UK and Pakistan. In this region, he intends to further promote interfaith harmony with inclusion of indigenous faiths and humanist philosophies, moreover focusing on common moral characters and peaceful teachings of all faiths. I am very much excited on my first formal appointment. I look forward to working in the Waterloo region, says the Imam. The Ahmadiyya community is also thrilled for his arrival. He is the first ever full-time formal missionary and Imam appointed for Bai'tul Kareem Mosque of Cambridge, which, according to the news release, is itself the first mosque of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in the Waterloo region and neighboring communities. Bai'tul Kareem Mosque in Cambridge was established in 2006, and last year the community celebrated the reopening of the newly remodeled mosque, and I was honored to be invited as one of the guest speakers for that event. A formal reception and open house is currently being planned to introduce the Imam. Welcome, gentlemen. I'm going to start with Nabeel.
Thank you for having us.
It's our pleasure. So, Nabeel, tell me what's happening with the World Religions Conference.
As you know, because of what's going on around, because of COVID, we had a few meetings and planning meetings, and we haven't come to a resolution that whether we want to hold the event virtually and when we want to hold it. So we're still working on that, and we're hoping that by December we would be able to hold it virtually this year. The initial plan was in September, of course, the real event, the physical event, but
of course, yeah.
It got canceled. So it's not the same, but nevertheless, we want to have a larger reach. So this way we can perhaps get speakers from around the world, because they don't have to come in physically. So we might get somebody from UK or India or China, whatnot. So we are looking into those possibilities, and then also advertising the event throughout the nation. So there are some advantages we are looking into.
And you will be getting attendees from all over the world as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So you will keep me updated, and I will be happy to have another show and discuss that. Have you reached a theme for this year?
I think it's going to be something related to the pandemic, that, what's the religion's take or what, but we don't have the wordings finalized yet.
Okay, I'm not going to pressure you on that.
Yeah.
I will speak with the Imam later. Can I speak with Dr. Ahmad Imran now? Dr. Imran, would you let me have a quick idea what is happening in the community?
Right. So as you know that we are welcoming the new Imam here, and we are truly thrilled to have him. The community is focusing on their core values, and with the arrival of Imam, we think that we are going to spread those, and we are going to have more opportunities in the areas of multiculturalism, multi-religious, multi-faith, and then we want to establish our existing ties with the other communities which are in this region, and then we want to work towards the betterment of the general population in this region.
What has been happening during the pandemic? How have you been conducting the services?
Right. So most of the services we have were virtual, as you know that's the talk of the town nowadays. And but we were involving our youth. Our youth, they are doing the program. So we have done some preparations for in case of emergency needs and things. So we have gathered food banks, and then at large community all over the Canada has been contributing towards helping the neighbors, towards helping the needy if they wanted to have some medicines delivered at their doorstep. So things like that. So we are keeping up our usual normal activities which we were performing otherwise, but our youth is contributing more towards these emergency response services.
Your history and record for being very involved and very contributing to the community is admirable. I congratulate you on all the wonderful things you do.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, these are the common things, the wise people like you, they know that the community is on the upfront of all these things, which are the humanitarian stuff. So we want to keep our focus there, and then we want to promote the religious harmony at the same, at the same page.
That is extremely, extremely admirable. My hats off to you guys. Gentlemen, let me share with you a song by Dawood Wonsby Ali called The Truth That Lies Inside.
You smile in the two-way mirror of my eyes. I put on my faith like I wear a disguise. You can't see my soul, see the life that I live. I show you the mask of the best I can give. I have hid here afraid like a child behind the truth of thoughts that clutter my mind. What if you knew about all that I do, the things that I think, the me that is true? Would you call me a hypocrite, call me a liar? Would you curse out my name? Would you damn me to fire? Would you know what to say, or would you just walk away? Afraid of me, I've tried to hide. Would too closely resemble the truth of you that lies inside. I've been looking for answers since becoming adult, not looking for dogma to live like a cult. I've been looking to live, I've been living to find freedom from cages that limit my mind. Would you call me a hypocrite, call me a liar? Would you curse out my name? Would you damn me to fire? Would you know what to say, or would you just walk away? Afraid of me, I've tried to hide. Would too closely resemble the truth of you that lies inside. La, 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 la. Will I scare you, frustrate you, upset you, irritate you, challenge your lifestyle, or weaken your trust? Or will you see my effort, my passion, sincerity? Will you see just a little of yourself in me? Will you take off your mask so we can both be free? Would you call me a hypocrite, call me a liar? Would you curse out my name? Would you damn me to fire? Would you know what to say, or would you just walk away? Afraid of me, I've tried to hide. Would too closely resemble the truth of you that lies inside. Would too closely resemble the truth of you that lies.
Okay, so I think it's about time now that I welcome Imam Fatir Mahmood Ahmad. Welcome to Waterloo region, sir.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. What are your immediate plans for the region?
The immediate plans was obviously to introduce myself firstly to all the community members. It's been a bit of a challenge in today's day and age, especially with this COVID pandemic going on. So I haven't introduced myself to every single member yet. So what I'm doing is that currently I'm doing house visits to every member of our community. And we started with Kitchener, and Kitchener is almost finished now. But on a local level, we still are having our 5 daily prayers in the mosque. So whenever members feel like coming, we do have a strict social distancing within our mosque. So you have to bring your own prayer mat. You have to wear a mask, as it's mandatory by the rules of the government as well. So obviously during these challenging times, it's difficult to meet everyone because some people are more at risk than others. But slowly but surely, I will get to meet everyone in the community. And then further on, we will do an outreach to the other members of Cambridge, Waterloo, Gulf, and Kitchener as well.
I will be on the lookout for when you decide to have the official launch of your arrival. So please keep me informed.
Appreciate it. Yes, we will for sure invite you as well.
I would be honored. Thank you so
but
much.
You know, nowadays it's a bit crazy. I believe the COVID cases today, they reached all-time high, 700 cases within Ontario.
And that is so sad.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that we can pat ourselves on the back for being a Muslim community that actually has exercised a lot of caution. And so please talk to me about that.
Yes. So as what we do as a community is basically whatever the government's instructions are regarding keeping other people safe and keeping ourselves safe. We abide by those rules. That's why even within our mosques, there's a strict social distancing rule. Right when someone comes in, you have to write your name, you have to write your member code in a book in case that person has COVID, we can trace it from where that virus is being spread. So we're just basically following the government rules as a Muslim should. Obviously, in Hadith, it's mentioned that love for your homeland is part of your faith. So that love would also incorporate that we follow the guidelines that our government is giving us as well.
I was reading to the listeners your background. Would you like to put some of your own words towards your journey until you became the Waterloo Region Imam?
Sure. So I was born in England. The United Kingdom, a city named Croydon. It's right next to London.
I'm very familiar with it. I lived in London, UK for several years.
Okay. Nice. Well, that's a commonality that we have.
Yes.
Yeah, my parents lived there for I believe 6 years, and me and my older sister, we were born in Croydon. So I don't really have any memory of England because I moved to Canada at the tender age of 5. So I really don't have any memory of London or Croydon. But I did visit not too long ago. Several months back, I was there. It was actually during the peak of the pandemic as well. So I didn't really even get to visit London like that. But then I moved to Vancouver, where I grew up. I did all of my elementary schooling in Vancouver. I did my high schooling in Vancouver as well. And then I decided to join Jama Ahmadiyya, Canada, which is located in Peace Village in Vaughan, Maple. And I did a 7-year course, a theology and languages course in Maple in Peace Village. It's located actually in Tyre Hall. I'm not sure if you've been there or not.
No, I've seen pictures only.
Okay, yeah.
But can I stop you here?
Yes.
How was your life growing up in Vancouver?
Life was great. I can't complain. Life was, you can say, almost perfect. I had a really good, nice circle of friends, family. All my dad's brothers are in Vancouver. Extended families there as well. We have about, I would say, almost 100 members of family now in Vancouver. So life was, it was really good in all aspects. No complaints from my side.
And it's a beautiful.
Yes. I do miss the mountains. I miss the mountains. I miss the trees, the ocean, the river, the air.
I'm sure that it contributed to your love for nature and for your faith. Yes.
You know, in Vancouver, there's a lot of hiking, and then when you're at the peak, you see God's creation when you're there at a peak of the mountain, and one can only admire God after reaching such a height.
And how was your interaction with the British Columbia population, the mainstream?
Well, I was there mostly as a student, right?
Yes.
So I was just a regular young boy playing sports, getting my education in Vancouver, BC. But however, through my
What sports did you play?
I play soccer.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes. I actually played at a very high level as well.
So tell me about it.
I'll tell you a heartbreaking story.
Oh, okay.
When I tried out for the Vancouver Whitecaps, it's a professional team.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I didn't get selected.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a professional a soccer player before joining Jama Ahmadiyya, but it didn't really work out.
But you did benefit from the exercise and from the whole experience, of course.
Yes. It was a very fun time of my life.
That's so good to hear. I don't see this as a bad story.
No. I was just saying it's a heartbreaking story because I didn't make the team.
Are you still upset about that?
No, not upset. Perhaps I'll train when hopefully God willing I have a son, I'll train him better. But what I did learn from playing in a sports team is that within the community, how to build a team. Because that team spirit, you only understand that team spirit when you've been on a sports team yourself.
Probably because God had other plans for you that they did not take you into the national team.
Yes, perhaps.
So tell me now about your education at Vaughan.
Yes, so in Jama Ahmadiyya, Canada, we go through a 7-year course, and in that 7-year course, we learn the fundamentals of the language Arabic as well. We learn grammar. We learn sarf and nahv. I'm sure you know how that works.
Yeah, I suffered from that too. Yes.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's very
yeah, I know.
Grammar is. It's very confusing.
It might have been less confusing for me because the language is my mother tongue.
Exactly. Yeah. So then we also learned word by word translation of the Holy Quran as well, and then we also have we read tafsir. We go over all of the Sahih Sitta, the Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, and all the Hadith books.
So I'll explain to the listeners that tafsir is the interpretation.
Yes.
I'm just mindful that my listeners are English speakers.
Okay. Yes. Tafsir basically means the commentary of the Holy Quran. So when a certain verse is being expounded on.
Yes. So after the 7 years?
So basically our Ahmadiyya Muslim community, the main difference between us and mainstream Muslims is that we've accepted the promised Messiah. We've accepted that second coming of Jesus, but we believe it to be in a metaphorical sense. So we accepted Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian. So that's primarily the only difference that we have within other Muslim sects. But we do everything pretty much the same. We offer 5 daily prayers. We read the Holy Quran. We give zakat. We do financial sacrifice. We give charity. It's pretty much, other than that, it's the same base that we have.
And I will explain to the listeners that there are 72 other sects of Islam. I say we have 73, so you are the 73rd. I do know that unfortunately a lot of the other sects are reluctant to acknowledge you, which is very sad. I'm not one of those. So
thank you.
I thank you because I admire your community very much. And I want to kind of figure out how much of your culture, because I'm guessing you are from Pakistan, or your parents originally are?
Yes. So my parents are really from Pakistan. I don't have any memories of Pakistan like that as well, because I spent all of my youth in Canada. But the core values in Pakistan, especially with the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, our core values are basically Islamic basic principles. Like I mentioned before, regularly praying in the house, Bajamat, we used to read together in the house, going to the mosque for prayer, doing Ramadan at home. So basically just like a regular Muslim family would be from Pakistan. That's how we were.
I'm trying to probe a little bit more about the culture. This show is about the different cultures.
So the culture, but you know how Pakistani culture, we are very family oriented within the Pakistani culture. So family is huge in Pakistani culture. So like I mentioned that my extended family also it was in Vancouver as well. So growing up, going to each other's houses for food, going to each other's houses, even within the community for food. And not only within the community, we actually had other Pakistani friends as well outside of the community that we used to visit on a regular basis as well. So that Pakistani culture, to be honest, I think Dr. Saab and Nabeel Saab can expound on this more, but it revolves around food. We really enjoy our food intake, and obviously our social one of our social values is that we really respect our elders, and especially our parents and grandparents was really big within our family as well. That you really appreciate and respect your grandparents and all the elder members within the community, and also the younger ones as well. So it was within the family. It was always nice and a respectful environment, cordial environment.
I'm sure that you mentioned about going to other members for food, and I'm assuming this is an open house thing. You don't wait for an invitation. You all visit each other as members of the same family.
Yes. Obviously, with the direct family, you don't really need to tell them. You don't need to give them a heads up that you're coming over. But if it's outside of the community, just out of respect, just out of awareness, you tell them that, oh, we're about to come over, and then according to their availability, then if they say that yes, please come, then we do so. Just for sometimes it's weird just knocking on someone's door and maybe they're someone else is over or they're doing another activity. So we would just give them a heads up, and we would visit the other outside of our family as well.
I think this is really beautiful, and not waiting for an invitation. You say you are coming. You don't wait for them to say, why don't you come?
Yes. Yeah, so in Pakistani culture, the outreach is really like this as well. Even if you go to Pakistan, that no one waits for an invitation. They go to visit the person, which is I really like this about the Pakistani. It's in order to be a helping hand, sometimes you have to go yourself rather than expect an invite, because maybe someone is suffering or someone is not in the right state of mind. So obviously they're gonna hesitate to tell you, right? So if you just go and do the outreach yourself, that's a lot more beneficial.
How much of that influenced your decision to become an imam?
It did obviously affect the whole family surroundings. That did affect myself becoming an imam. Like that, I told you, this just like that respectful atmosphere that we have within our household, and the core Islamic values, praying, liking spirituality, that peace that you feel after offering prayer, and all of these things had also had an effect on me becoming or joining Jamia Ahmadiyya at that time.
Were your parents encouraging you in that direction, or did they have other aspirations for you?
No, they weren't honestly encouraging me, to tell you the truth. My mom actually didn't want me to go to Jamia Ahmadiyya. My dad was open to it. He said that whatever field you choose in your life, just be dedicated and sincere to it. But I do remember my mom, she didn't want me to go to Jamia Ahmadiyya. I think because I was also the only son as well. And me and my mom, we had a very good relationship within the house as well.
What was your mother's objection?
Me leaving home.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
this field requires a lot of traveling, because you get posted in different areas. Basically, you have to leave home. If I chose another profession, if I became an engineer or perhaps maybe a doctor, well, I'm not smart enough to become a doctor, but if I became something else, I would obviously stay with my parents most likely. Like I said, we have that in our Pakistani culture. We find it our duty, and not even Pakistani culture, but in Islamic culture, religion as well, that we take care of our parents when we grow up. I would have been more on that side, where living with my parents, helping them out in the house, and be a financial aid to my parents as well.
But you said your father supported you in whatever you chose to do.
Well, this is a very different cause, right? In the Holy Quran, it mentions that you should always obey your parents, right?
Yes.
But it also mentions, but if it's for the sake of God, then you can also go for a higher purpose. So my father recognized that this was a higher purpose, inviting people to the religion of Islam, and learning about different religions, basically bridging that divide within a religion as well. So this is a higher purpose, which I guess my father recognized. But I mentioned before, my mother, she was a bit hesitant, but now she's really happy now that I've become a missionary and an imam. So I can see it in her eyes that she's very happy. I guess, mothers always have that hesitation when their son or their daughter is leaving the house. They don't want to be separated from their young ones.
I'm sure your mother is really proud of you now.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'm sure she is.
Yes.
Was there any influence from the mosque that directed you to join the movement?
Yes, of course. Just going to prayers, gathering for the programs that we have in our mosque. Our local youth, one of our local youth leaders, in fact, his influence, telling us Islamic narrations, stories, and all of that does influence one's mindset at a young age.
He probably was doing that in a very gentle way that made you like it.
Of course. There was no force. There's no force in this field when it comes to becoming a missionary or going to Jama to become an imam. No one is forced to. It's completely your own will, whatever you want at the end of the day.
And do you have any role models?
Yes, of course. I think I have many role models, as a matter of fact. Obviously, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the main role model, because Quran says he's uswatun hasana, that he is the example for everyone.
How about we listen to another of Dawood Won't Be Ali's songs, Ya Ummati, O My People.
Come listen to her story with me. In a world of opportunity, a little girl has lots to say, but everyone's so far away. Listen to her story with me. Her tiny life and tiny hands shake, ashamed of her unknown mistake. Child's hopes and tears in vain, she believes she is to blame. Listen to her story with me. Almighty, answer me. Why am I suffering this way? Almighty, I am so afraid. I have the right to learn and play. A silent call to you and me, too caught up with our lives to hear or see. We will answer to Allah one day, and what will we have to say for busy lives so void of mercy? Answer me. Why have the right to learn and play. Allah created beauty, innocence and peace, and blessed us with the children to remind us all of these. Allah entrusted to us all a gift to hold so near, to teach with love, teach how to love. Allah's command is clear. In Allah's garden there's a flower at play, the abandoned gift we turned away. Had we only been brave enough to hear her playground prayer to our deaf ear, her smile might not haunt us today. Ummati, answer me, why am I suffering this way? Ummati, I am so afraid. Don't I have the right to learn and play? Ummati, we all know the answer. The ignorance must end today. Ummati, open up your heart. Every child has a right to learn and play. Every child has a right to grow and pray. Every child has a right.
Who else is your role model?
After that, who we believe to be the promised Messiah, alayhi salatu wasalam, I believe that he was a role model. Not even the promised Messiah, I would say Khulafai Rashidin were a role model. Hazrat Abu Bakr, Raziyallahu anhu, Hazrat Umar Farooq, Hazrat Usman, Hazrat Ali. So all these Islamic leaders, they were all role models for us. But within my circle, I had friends that were role models to me. My father, I believe, was a role model to me. My grandfather was a role model to me. Like I mentioned, the local leader, he was a role model to me. So there's many people in my life which I saw them and I aspired to be like them as well.
Have you had any other locations that you've trained in, or is Waterloo region your first?
Yeah, I've only been here for a month, the Waterloo region.
Before
So last year, I went after I finished Jama Ahmadiyya Canada, after the 7-year course. I visited Africa for a month in Kenya, and I also visited Pakistan for a month, and UK in England. I was there in the Tilford area. It's about 45 minutes away from London for about 3 to 4 months as well.
Are these all training processes?
Yes.
So when you're in one of those locations, you don't really get to see the surroundings. Like when you went to Kenya, have you had an opportunity to be part of the community of Kenya?
Yes. So the problem with usually it's a lot more open, but the problem with when we went this year is that in Kenya we got to visit. I visited different cities. I actually traveled alone there, 12 hours alone as well. So obviously, when you're sitting in a bus, you get to meet and interact with other individuals as well. I actually made a couple friends as well on the way, who I'm in contact with even nowadays. But we did get to visit the community in Kenya as well.
Before you move to the next step, what is your impression as a Canadian of Kenya? Like, what is the things that you notice?
Well, there's a lot of poverty in Africa. The main thing that I noticed is that I was very thankful to the government of Canada and how they look after each and every single individual within their country. Unfortunately, in African countries, that's not the case. There's a huge amount of poverty in Kenya, which you don't see in Canada, because Canada, They have the welfare system over here. They have different, for example, when they have child benefits here, they have a retirement plan here. So there's a lot of things that the government does to help you out in Canada.
I think what you just said here is very important because
Yes.
a lot of people here wouldn't agree with you. They are complaining about the poverty and about the shortages in housing.
Yeah, they should book a ticket to the third world.
Or actually,
yeah, there will be a lot more. They will be a lot more thankful. It's very hard for a government to successfully
please everybody.
Please everybody. Yes, it's extremely difficult for a government to do that. But overall, if you look at the benefits that Canada gives its citizen, it's second to none across the world. Just look at this pandemic. How the Canadian government they helped its citizens. There's very few other countries that help their citizens in such manners. The thing is, sometimes when you live in such a beautiful country, you become spoiled. I believe that's the case with many of us.
I agree with you. However, I'm going to quote somebody I met when I first came. I came 32 years ago, and I was full of praise, no criticism at all. And then one person told me the reason we are where we are is that we keep aspiring for better.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, yeah.
So so the people who are complaining now may not be ungrateful. They may just want to keep moving in a good direction.
Yes, perhaps. That's also a way of looking at it as well.
Well, that's what I learned from this gentleman, so I'm just sharing it.
Yeah, thank you.
And so next step was Pakistan. Tell me about that.
Yes. Well, as you know, Jihan, that in Pakistan, our community is heavily persecuted there.
Yes.
Our headquarters is also in a city called Rabwa, and over there you have to be low key a bit because of that severe persecution. Because if they find out that you're Ahmadi, then they cause a lot of harm, or they try to cause a lot of harm to you. But being Canadian, it's still better because they know that you're you're from outside, so they stay away still. But it's just for safety purpose. When we were in Pakistan, they told us not to go out too much because of the whole Ahmadiyya issue in Pakistan. Yes.
And that is so unfortunate. I feel really bad about that. But,
yeah. There's a lot of positions where even if you're capable over there in Pakistan as an Ahmadi and you're competent for the job, they won't give you the job just because you're Ahmadi. So it's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate that even in 2020 that some people's thinking is so backwards. All we can really do for them is pray, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe some enlightenment would help.
Yes.
So my next question is answered already. You probably have not had an opportunity to view Pakistan from a Canadian perspective. You are, let's say, maybe culturally Pakistani from your parents and from your extended family and entourage, but you probably wouldn't have a comparison to tell me for having been actually to the country.
No, I actually visited Pakistan in 2012 as well. So that was a bit more of a free trip. That was with my family. So during that time, I went out and about and I visited different cities. But culturally, Pakistan and Canada, it's the same issue in a way as Africa as well, right? That the Canadian government over here, they look after each and every single individual. In Pakistan, it's the same case. There's a huge amounts of poverty in Pakistan as well. The cities are established, but there are still a lot of less fortunate people within the rural areas. So Pakistan does need to help their citizens as well, the way that Canada is looking after their citizens. Dr. Imran Sahib or Nabeel Sahib could perhaps, if you ask them later on, they can tell you the problem over there. They grew up there, so they have a better idea.
In 2012, Was that before or after the assassination of Mrs. Bhutto?
Oh, that was long after.
Okay. And you said you went back to the UK.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes, UK was okay. The problem with UK, what we had is that the pandemic, COVID had reached its heights. That was the peak time during COVID. So we were, for the first little bit, we were actually isolated in a house. It was a farmland. And then, as you know, our Caliph, His Holiness, the Supreme World Head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmed, he resides in that area in UK, Tilford, where we were. So we actually spent the month of Ramadan in UK as well, behind the Caliph, and we would go for prayers. But everything was with social distancing during that time. And like I said, we listened to the government obviously I was in UK, so they were listening to the UK government and following the instructions, and we would bring our prayer mat and pray in that manner, face mask and taking all the precautions.
I thank you so much, Imam, and I wish you a wonderful time in Waterloo region. It is a beautiful region. You have an amazing community. You have Nabeel Rana there, who is a community leader and an organizer, and I am looking forward to meeting Dr. Imran, and I'm sure others. We hope that the pandemic will be over and that I can come again and visit the mosque.
Inshallah.
I'd like to include one more of Dawood Wonsby Ali's songs. It's called Pages of Hope.
Sometimes it takes the eyes of youth to see walls go up and walls to fall, based on the fear within us all.
When I was 11, Holland was invaded, borders were closed, no way to escape it. Gradually we were demonized, legally dehumanized. All of this was legislated, civil service orchestrated, civil rights were decimated. Now our bodies are cremated.
I cease to be in the world so infected by hatred indeed, trying to change the way that I see division of van are projected for me. Study your strength, courage to speak in a world unjust, freedom we seek. Our words have become so much more than writing in times of oppression, providing some guidance. We live and hide ironically behind books and words with power to set us free. Sometimes it takes the eyes of youth to see walls go up and walls to fall, based on the fear within us all.
When I was 13, we fled into hiding. My life I confide in the diary I'm writing. It's prejudice that puts us here. I wish we'd learned to see more clear. I was sent to my death for no crime. My crime was belonging to my tribe. Would you have the strength to resist this? Perhaps you would have assisted.
Oppressed them in chambers, you left them beaten, mistreated without any question. I questioned the actions of those that were there. They saw the injustice but still didn't care. Let's pray for the souls of the men and the women, the young and the old, suffered in silence with stories untold. If we fail to address it, they'll never be known. We live and hide ironically, just a curtain they hung between you and me. If we bend our guns to pens, we will see walls go up and walls to fall, based on the hope within us all.
In every time, in every place, where people try to hide their face, may this diary be a legacy to resuscitate the memory. If we value human liberty, we need to take responsibility. To be free means resisting tyranny, and I know that it begins with me.
The eyes of the youth will forever see the voice of the voices spoken through me. I believe in a change that we can achieve. For love, equality, acceptance, peace, we will be one day free. Cause peace means more than the absence of war. The struggle for justice will never conform.
We live and hide ironically, just a good day hung between you and me. If we bend our guns to pens, we will see walls go up and walls to fall. We hide away, wish we were free. Time to untether love and bravery. Sometimes it takes the words of youth to see walls go up and walls to fall, based on the hope within us all.
We'll never conform.
Legacy, legacy.
We'll never conform.
Begin with me.
We'll never conform.
Begin with me.
We'll never conform.
Legacy, legacy.
Nabeel, you wanted to say something.
Yes, so I want to take this opportunity and extend to the other Muslim communities in the Waterloo region, all the mosques, the imams of the different mosques that we would like to have through your radio station. I would like to reach all of them, that we would like to have some kind of collaboration, and we would like to get together and see how we can work together for the advancement of the community in general. So that is my message.
I think that's a very noble message. I would suggest, Nabeel, that we have another show recording on my Mashrabiyya show. I do have another show on the CKWR, and the other one is in Arabic, so it might reach the other Muslim congregations in a better way.
Absolutely, absolutely, sure thing.
Dr. Imran, do you want to add anything?
That's right. So as Nabeel has said, that like he has given a general invitation to all the Muslim imams and communities. So I just want to extend that to you, that since our community is for interfaith harmony, so this extension is like to all the faiths and humanists and all the religions who are in this area, especially the Christians and Jews and Hindus and Sikhs. So since our community is for the interfaith harmony, and then we want to take everybody on board. So everybody is welcome to have any kind of collaboration or any kind of help from us. We will always be there to extend our like warm welcomes and our warm supports for any noble cause.
If I may suggest that you give the website for the Bai'tul Kareem, or a phone number, or whatever kind of contact you would like to offer. So with Nabeel's permission, I will announce his phone number and his email. Nabeel Rana can be reached at 519-722-0841, or via email at nabeel.rana@gmail.com. And to avoid the mistake I made, I will spell it N as in Nancy, ABEEL.RAN as in Nancy A @gmail.com. I will say this again, Nabeel Rana, 519-722-0841, or nabeel.rana@gmail.com, and Nabeel is a double E, not an I. Thank you, all three gentlemen, for this wonderful meeting, and I am looking forward to a person-to-person, and I'm wishing you a wonderful stay in Waterloo region, Imam, and for all of us, and until we meet, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much.
Take care. This has been Cross Cultures, coming to you from 98.5 CKWR FM. We hope you'll join us next week. Till then, keep well.